All right, so got this somewhat prepped. Still working on this. Ran out of gas, so I couldn't finish that up. I went ahead and pulled out some more of this here. I've got to clean this up. Can't weld that either right now. But I got that there, And I'm going to I've decided to, I'm going to do like the other side. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece out, reuse the original. I just don't want to fight with this one here. It's just easier to use the original. So I'm going to drill all those out. And then we're going to test fit this and see how it fits. Alright guys, you have to excuse the lighting, excuse the noise. I got the door open. It's December, 80 degrees out, and I'm going to see if I can make that thing temporarily fit up here. Yeah, this is what you guys up north call summer, and this is the few days of nice weather that we get in Texas. So yeah, we you know, you have to appreciate it when we do get it. All right, well anyway, it's basically up and on there. So if anybody says you can't do it with a full quarter and with that piece on there, you know, on the original piece, you know, the tail panel, it can be done. You know, I got a lot more fiddling to do to get it to, you know, because it catches on everything. So you got to keep going up there. But you know, same thing right here. The little flange that goes out, I didn't flatten that out, and I didn't flatten this one out first. I just wanted to, you know, I was in a hurry. I just wanted to get it on there, see if it fits. But, you know, that's basically just kind of sitting on there before a lot of tweaking and messing with it. But just kind of want to see if it was going to fit in the ballpark, and so far so good. I'll tweak and tweak and tweak, kind of get it in place, see how it fits overall, make sure it fits, and then I'll take it back off again. And then I'll put it on, and then I'll take it off, and then I'll put it on, then I'll take it off. That's just what you do. Now, yesterday, went to my friend's and picked up this. And he bought a quarter off of another car, quarter with the tail panel attached, put all that onto his. So he saved that for me, which actually not in that bad a shape. But I'm going to probably cut somewhere up here, just chop that off, kind of hold it up, and see what I want to use off of this onto mine. I may actually use that whole drop off. You know, tack it back together, but, you know, straighten out. It'd probably be better than mine, than trying to work with mine anymore. So I'll get to work on that, and we'll see what happens. Okay, well, done a little bit of pounding. I've was over there on that big cast iron top. Great anvil, just really nice to have. Very fortunate to have that. It's just really good for flattening out a lot of this stuff. So it's better, not perfect, but I just want to kind of get in the ballpark and see what's going on, see how it fits. And I've kind of got it in there. You know, it was a little bent up from being, you know, hacked out of the other one. And just kind of want to see how things were going to fit in here and how it lines up all along here. And I think I may end up, I'll patch that up over here. I'll patch this up over here, cut that off. Probably straighten this piece out a little bit more. I think I'm going to actually take this one and weld it onto my car. But at the same time, before I do that, I'm going to trace the shape of this. And the reason for that is this piece is the same for, what is it, 65 to 70. It's not. 65 and 66, this is smaller. So if you get, you know, for the later ones, it comes out bigger, and you have to cut that off. So I need to make a template so I can use it on the other side, so I can get that one where it should be, and just keep it for future reference. And maybe I'll figure out a way to maybe draw it up in AutoCAD or something and put it in the internet somewhere for others to have. But yeah, I've got it fitting in there fairly well, considering it's, you know, it's bent up, messed up. Not bad. I may actually reuse the bottom of this. Passenger side, I rebuilt this entire piece from here down. Just piece by piece, made curved pieces. I made, you know, the compound curves to do around here. And I think it was 2 or 3 pieces that I made it out of. And it worked out pretty well on the passenger side. But this, I can blast this, reuse this. So I don't know how much of this I'll use. I kind of wish this cut wasn't here. You know, if he ever sees this, you know, yeah, I'll give him a hard time after he finds out. But I'm not complaining. It's a free part. No complaints. Yes, it's raining again. Deal with it. Sorry. But yeah, so I think that's going to be a good patch piece, especially this here as well. And got it all clamped into place here. If you're not familiar with these are Cleco clamps. They're used for aircraft. These are my really old ones. I figure the really old ones are beat up, so being on steel, it's not going to hurt them. So there we are. And do a little more trimming. Let's see if we can get this piece cleaned up good enough to get it on the car. Okay, now we have a big gaping hole. I have cut this chunk out of here. Couple reasons I went for where I did. I want to leave this alone, as I don't want to have to undo this panel back here off of this and re-weld this. I can still flatten this out a little bit more. Fine, don't care. Good enough. You know, this had a bunch of holes in here. This was, I mean, if you remember earlier, this thing was really ugly. I mean, yeah, you keep messing with it and make it a little better. And this side you'll never see. This side would get covered in undercoat. I mean, you're really, to be honest, if you fix up the rust holes and all this and flatten out a little more, nobody's ever going to know. But since I am going to be putting this in one piece with this still attached to this into here, just makes life easier. I got less things to line up. I may end up taking this off of here. I don't know. I hope not. But the plan is now I'm going to take, and this is going to be my template. I'll go from the back side. And the way this is going to go in is, you know, I'm not going to butt weld this. I'm going to cut this off at the very top edge all the way across here. And I'm going to cut it down over here. But it's going to be bigger than the hole. And I'm going to flange it, and I'm going to have a flange that wraps around on the back side all the way around. And then out here will be flush. I will weld that whole joint all along here, all along there. I may actually drill a couple of holes and put a couple of plug welds through into the new piece. Doesn't really need it, but it doesn't hurt. But so yeah, that's how that's going to go on. And that will work just fine. I will get that laid out, get this cut out, then take it back over here, and then trim this up a little more. I'll round that off, and then start figuring out where this is all going to have to be cut out. I wish I had this all the way up to here, but I don't. Oh well. I have the important part, which is this out here, so good enough. And I'll get all this trimmed up, get that flange put on there, and be back here shortly. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Got other stuff to do. But yeah, so that'll be a decent little patch in there. It'll look pretty good when it's done. Okay, well, as you can see in the preceding clip, I decided to go ahead and sandblast this thing. I just, for some reason, I kept looking at this dirty, nasty thing and just like, I just want to clean it before I finish messing with it and putting it into place. So, you know, we found a few rust holes, easy enough to fill in. not a big deal. A couple little ones here, patch it a little bit there. This is where it was drilled out. These I'll keep, and we'll actually use those to weld the new quarter on. As you can see, it was a little slow getting through some of the undercoating. I didn't get scraped off. There's still a little bit undercoating still there. A little bit of undercoating there. You can see my weld that I haven't ground off from the inside yet. And essentially, all I got to do is grind it off, and I can make it smooth and pretty and all that. And all I do in these really big ones is I just take a piece. This was a huge cut from a wheel on a grinder, a wide wheel. And what I do is I just lay down a TIG filler rod in the middle of it, and you weld it into place from both sides, grind it off on both sides, and then you've got, a nice patch. Yeah, it works. It works for me anyway. Nice, easy way to do it. But doesn't look too bad. So, well, I'm going to get all these little holes filled up while it's up here in front of me, easy to work on. And then I'll go back to fitting it on the car. And, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Okay, now we're back over here. I've basically got it roughly into place. I made this so where that was going to be there on purpose and line it up, and yeah, so on and so forth. Now, you see how ugly that is, because when this got crushed, I mean, you saw how wrinkled that was. It got crushed. This got pushed back and out at the same time. So yeah, it's pretty ugly. And then when it comes, you come back around here, and then when you come up back into here, it starts coming back into where it should be. This is off of a 65. I forget. It actually says on there what year. So what I plan on doing is cutting somewhere in here, somewhere here, somewhere here, and I will probably actually cut a little bit lower, cut through, and the same thing here, and actually that way makes it easier to tie in the new piece because your cuts all line up. And then once that's all cut out, this will pull, the finger pointing thing, this will pull right back into here and join into that, kind of where it should be. So that'll be quite a bit better. It's kind of dark in there. Let's shed a little light on it, see if that makes any difference. But yeah, I mean, we knew that was all, pretty well torn up, messed up, bent up, and this new piece is fitting the quarter panel quite well. So, and I knew when I put the quarter on here before, the quarter was way out here. This was like floating in the breeze behind it. So yeah, this is correct. This is obviously not. So yeah, we'll next we'll get that cut off, fixed, and tied into place, and hopefully I will be showing you next this piece being fixed and done and ready to go. Okay. All right. I went ahead and epoxy primed this because I wanted to get on the back side before I welded. I don't like weld through primer back there if I can help it. Just not had good experience with it. The way a lot of people like to use it, so I don't use it that way. So I've got this welded in. I did do, I did a lip in here. So this is actually behind. It's flush out here. Kind of doesn't look like it because of the weld. But then what that gives you is it gives you a lot of meat here. And you can actually do long beads if you really want to, because you've got so much more mass of metal here to absorb the heat. It doesn't burn through. For stuff you're never going to see, this is just an easier way to go. Use one of those flangers. You put a flange all the way around, slide it up in there, makes it flush on this side here. It works well. I like it. And to be honest, it's stronger than a butt weld anyway. So, but anyway, it's on there, and as you can see, we've got quite a difference between this is what it should be and this is what it is, because the way this got crunched up and pulled out and it's flared out. So yeah, the next step is going to be starting to trim this to match this and pull that back into here and get that into place. But at least I have somewhere to aim for. So yeah, next update will be when I get this trimmed to here and start welding that on. So hopefully I can get that done pretty soon here before I get the ribs done. Okay, well, oops. Hope this comes out okay. Just want to talk about kind of what I'm doing here. Is this piece was up underneath here. So, you know, I talked about, if I get that gets in the video, I don't know. I talked about cutting this close. And I did that. I cut it close. I kind of made it a little big there, so that's why there's extra weld there, because I had to kind of fill that in. Made my cut a little too short, but it's okay. So what I'm doing is I go through and tack a few spots here and there, and then I cut through top piece, bottom piece, weld a little bit, cut through, weld a little bit, and just kind of work my way around. The rest of this I'll cut it and get it flat. I just wanted to get that done out of the way. But yeah, the rest of this I'll cut, get it smooth, get it all smooth, and then come back in and finish the weld here and here. And then I'll have to do a little bit of repairing over here, and there's a little bit over here. But essentially that's all I do. You just kind of come in and you can cut this way, cut that way, however you want to cut. You just cut it the other way. It works. Oscar? Inspector's knocking things over. Oscar. What? He does not approve, I guess. But anyway, that's where we are. I have this done here pretty soon here. I'll put the quarter panel back on again and see if it fits.